the Niger military is allegedly backed up by the Russians.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I feel they should. This is not the Niger Republic is not a Russian.
No, it is not. It
but
was
so
colonized by France, and
so they should listen to the ECOWAS government and maybe go through the process of scrutiny or proper investigations, and then if he's found guilty, then he can be, they should just follow due process instead of let democracy have its.
Well, in every democratic nation, the president has immunity while in office.
Yeah, while in office, but he's still in office. That's the thing. He's still in office. Actually, it's not like there was a military coup d'etat and he was removed. So I feel they should listen, because I also read that they've been declared a no-flight zone, no flight in or no flight out. The military and their families, they can't travel to anywhere. So it's like you're under house arrest, even while you're a military president or anything. You can't interact with other member states, So even the UN is also on this case. I feel they should just give peace a chance and then maybe have a proper dialogue, and then investigate him properly. If he's guilty, then they do the necessary thing.
Okay. Moving on, I think this is one which a lot of Nigerians has been waiting for.
Okay.
The Senate has announced that they are set for screening of ministers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they are starting up immediately. They are starting up today.
Yes, they are supposed to start up immediately. So, and then,
I wish all the
ministerial
nominees good luck. I hope they make it to the ministerial seat. I wish them good luck.
Most definitely.
I am rooting. There's one person I actually like very well. I wish him all the best.
Are you going to tell us who that is?
That will be former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai.
Yes, he has a proven track record.
Yes, he's a good. When it comes to doing what is necessary, he does his job perfectly. So, okay, moving on to the next newspaper now. We're going to the New Telegraph. And here the headline says, revenue generation. Federal government goes after own assets fraudulently procured. Okay, this will be maybe people who maybe ministers or like the CBN government officials, yes, that got their assets through fraudulent means. So
this is not a new thing in Nigeria. A lot of office holders
they often
misappropriate funds just to acquire or accumulate wealth and properties for themselves. So I think it's a good move by the federal government in trying to curb the corruption and embezzlement in the political space generally.
Okay. All right, moving on. It says, as governors hold all the aces in Tinubu's administration. Okay. How so? Nigeria has the second fastest growing population in the world. Anthrax. Lagos identifies destroys affected animals. Okay, this is the sickness on animals, that has to do with animals mostly.
Yeah, recently there was a breakout of anthrax here in Nigeria.
In Niger, precisely, Niger State here, just close to Abuja. It is also saying that it has identified animals that are in charge of this.
The CDC and the rest of them. It is necessary. It's actually very necessary for them to swiftly try as much as possible to work with state government and the federal government to identify these animals and
to go to like these abattoirs where animals are reared and run a proper check or test on these animals to see the ones that are actually infected, because most at a loss, but it's actually not healthy because it has that they can check him, and then the DSS has
which is part of his fundamental human rights.
So he has gone back under their custody right now. Then NLC to Nigerians, stop lamenting. Join us on streets on Wednesday. The proposed Labour NLC strike, it's meant to happen on Wednesday, 2nd of August. So NLC is telling people to join them on Wednesday, telling the world to join them so that they can come out and then protest. Labour may not control the protest. That's what they are saying here. So they want to protest against what is really happening. They want the government to...
or better still, cushion them.
Okay.
Cushion it.
Yeah. Then next here it says, okay, we have talked about this one. ECOWAS gives Niger military 7 days to reinstate Bazoum. President's ministerial lists assemblage of recycled anti-democratic politicians. Yes. This is coming from Labour Party.
Well, it's a tough one, and the Labour Party here is just trying to say that
they are not in support.
That the president is recycling anti-democratic
I think
politicians.
Somehow, most of these people in service, they have been in service, for quite a number of years. So they are not far from the truth if they say
democratic politicians. My personal observation is, for any leader, you would definitely, in as much as you want to, or in as much as you're running a democracy and you want everybody to be involved, you are going to work with people that you know can deliver.
Well, the truth is, even amongst these people, it's not all of them that delivered while they were governors of their states. So let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next newspaper headline, The Guardian.
The Guardian. So the headline here on The Guardian says, foreign policy security top agenda for nominees. That's this is part of the key expectations from Tinubu's government and cabinet.
Yeah, the new ministers are coming in. This is what we expect them to do.
It's broken down into addressing insecurity challenges.
That's insecurity, foreign policy. They are very, very important.
Yes, economic
even the economy.
624 billion naira to depreciation.
Wow.
Well, it's saddening actually that with every year our country just keeps naira just keeps going down and down and down. But I believe our able president is working hard to see how he can, bring some level of stability to our currency.
It's very important.
Yeah,
really.
so the Nigerian Labour Congress mobilizes, meets civil societies ahead of Wednesday's action. That's their planned protest. We also have anti-corruption. Tinubu appoints special investigator, probe CBN and related entities.
For every new government tend to do this, and yet the corruption doesn't stop. Like every time a new president emerges, it's set to fight corruption. It appoints people to investigate this and investigate that, but I don't think proper measures are actually being taken to reduce these things, because you see that people are still corrupt.
Well,
these days, before you get, you must sort to get some certain kind of government jobs, even though you're qualified, which is wrong.
You structure the way our structure is built, and there's not so much emphasis on to get convictions, and the security agencies can work hard to just get these criminals and the evidences.
This thing has to do with integrity, personal integrity. You don't have to do no one has to checkmate you for you to do the right thing. Even if at the end of the day there's judicial, but if you're a leader, you should be a good leader. Do the things that you're supposed to do. If you have coming in, for instance, to say, okay, for my senatorial zone, we need this, these are good roads. When government provides this, actually provide the good roads. make these
True.
things available.
I agree with you on that.
Not that you siphon the money and then at the end of the day we begin to have long investigation, which doesn't even yield any results at the end of the day.
Yeah, moving on, we also have a presidential tribunal, INEC, Tinubu, Atiku, Obi to adopt final addresses tomorrow.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, I wish it's really been a tough battle.
Yes, it has been.
Yeah, we also have Niger coup leader occurring headline.
Yeah.
The Niger military has sternly warned that they do not want any intervention whatsoever.
Okay.
Yes, native doctor pays 350. Are you serious?
Yeah.
350 million. How lucrative is the
kidnapping?
Not even the kidnapping business.
Oh, his own native doctor.
Yes,
his own is digital.
Are you serious?
He has gone. He's a big boy in the business.
Wow.
He encourages people to actually come to make money through diabolical. Says again, ECO ousted president in 1 week or be forced out. As 100 Bridge emerges in FX market, EIU predicts return of dual exchange at London stake. ECO Flay's Economics Intelligence Unit prediction on 2023 presidential elections.
Let's quickly move on to the next newspaper as we are running out of time. Measures Tinubu tells Nigerians.
Wow.
Yes, as part of efforts to promote a cleaner environment and healthy lifestyle, the Federal Ministry of Transportation has advised Nigerians to consider bicycles as alternative means of commuting.
Well, I have to go and learn how to ride e-bike ASAP.
It's good for exercise, no doubt, but with
imagine
the
if I have to go
from commuting between
to
Kubwa to central area. I mean, that's like a stressful one for Nigerians. Yeah, Mefele, Tinubu named special investigation fights sometime in 2017-18, if I'm not mistaken. We had a clash of the native Yorubas and the Hausas. Every time, in different parts of Nigeria, we keep having clashes. Recently, there was I think sometime this year, 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, there was a clash here in Gwarimpa between the natives and
the Hausa guys. Because we are one, we're the same and one Nigeria. We depend on each other to survive. No, as an Igbo girl, I can't survive on my own. I need someone from the north and someone from the south, other ethnic group to survive, because
definitely
God created us to live in harmony. That's why when you don't get everything from the north, you have to depend on you have to depend on the south or the east to get some things, and the easterners as well. You have to depend on the northerners to get some of the things that you need.
If not even
because we must coexist.
Definitely,
we just need to learn how to coexist as individuals.
Definitely,
peace is the watchword. Please, our life is so precious for one little thing to just cut short somebody's life just like that.
Yes. So moving on, we have nationwide strike. The labor urges Nigerians to stock homes with food and medicines and other essential needs, as they are planning to
go on a
nationwide strike. Quickly, ECOWAS imposes no-flight zone on Niger Republic, gives junta 1 week to cede power. Kaduna, 6 feared dead as suspected bandits kidnap 40 farmers in
Birnin-Gwari.
Yes. Wow, that's scary. Then in Taraba, we have 2 killed as residents invade warehouse for palliative, loots grains. 24-hour curfew declared in Adamawa.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think we're out of time.
Let's quickly take a look at the Punch
before we go.
The Punch says uncover CBN, NNPCL mess. Economist group tells Tinubu special investigator. Okay, Tinubu appoint Obaze as special investigator. EFCC police orders to join in the probe. Investigators to go after ex-Buhari appointees, private individuals hiding government funds. Okay. Here it also says NLC insists on Wednesday strike, mobilizes workers. Kanu returns to DSS custody after checkup by personal doctors. 15 ministerial nominees submit credentials ahead of screening. Okay, they are ready to go into there to start up work immediately. Okay, here Niger coup plotters dismiss ECOWAS threats. Bazoum reinstatement. They don't have plans of reinstating the president. NDLEA nabs Lagos nightclub drug suppliers. Government warns operators. Wow, this is not nice. These are two of them. One, Mr. Ikenna, and I missed the other guy's name that supply drugs. That drugs that tends to make people feel good. I don't know what they are. Cannabis and
various other
kind of drugs. Yeah, drugs. They were arrested on Thursday, I think. When one was arrested in his house in Lagos, and the other in the airport.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it for that. And then Operation Flush. 88 robbery suspects arrested in Lagos. Downtown continues. And then over 2,000 Nigerian girls stranded in Mali. Okay, that's it this morning on our newspaper review on Breakfast Digest. We'll be back shortly for the next 2 minutes on the education segment. Thank you. We'll join you soon. Hi viewers, welcome back to the education. On the education segment today, we'll be talking about child labor.
First of all, I would like to define child labor. What is child labor? Basically, child labor refers to the employment of children in harmful and exploitative work that deprives them of their childhood, education, and proper development. This definition is according to the International Labor Organization, so to say.
Yeah.
So basically, child labor is
whatever
the child should,
what a child should experience, what
yes,
a child should love, supposed to experience care, you're supposed to experience fun generally, you know, you're supposed to be able to explore every avenue to grow up as a normal child. You're supposed to have time to play, time to recreate, time to explore your environment, time to do fun things with your parents. But you find out that oftentimes children are engaged in hideous work, activities, things that they are not supposed to do as children. Some are from the age of 3, 4. You see them hawking things on the street, while they shouldn't do that at that age. They should
not at all.
They should be children who play, who should be cared for. But they give them things to go and hawk on the street.
Yes.
Some sell water, some sell granules. So and this
petty trade,
and this exposes them to harm, exposes them to armed robbery. People tend to, exposes them to
exposes them to various vices we have in our society.
Exposes them to rape and so many other things.
Yeah.
So I feel children should be allowed to, child labor should not be encouraged.
It should be curbed totally.
Completely. Maybe as a result of death of their parents, they're not able to go to schools. They're not able to, So I feel if there's, if government can provide, maybe rehabilitation centers? No, before they get
not necessarily
rehabilitation. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe agencies that can take care of these children.
Yes.
So that they can have proper education. They can be taken care of, fed, and not exposed to child labor. This morning, my Brekete family, that a parent were brought in because a child was stubborn, so to speak, and he was forced to undergo 3 days prayer and fasting. You do this dry fasting where you don't eat and you don't take stubbornness. That's child. It's normal for children.
Yes,
to want to kind of push you.
To say. Being stubborn is just part of being a child. There is no child born into this world between the ages of 0 to 10 that is not stubborn, or even more than that is not stubborn. Every now and then they exhibit those certain characters.
I don't feel that's being stubbornness, because they go to schools. I don't think that's being stubborn, because they go to schools and they tend to learn from other children, or they see things that other children do. So what you should do as a parent, you don't tell that child to be stubborn. What you do is to talk to that child and find ways or measures, things better. But telling a child to do 3 days dry fasting, no food, that you are praying for the child so
really,
that
really
he or she will be delivered.
That is really, really sad.
I don't get it. Is
it a spiritual problem?
I don't understand. Even if it is a spiritual problem, it is your job to pray for the child, not to make a child undergo 3 days dry fasting. If you say, okay, I'm going to deprive you of watching some things that makes you happy, that's understandable. You deprive the child from enjoying his or her favorite cartoons. You don't give them you don't take them out, those things that the child enjoys doing. You just you grant that child. That's understandable, but you still feed the child, but it's just that he or she does not enjoy that privilege. That's understandable. For 3 days dry fasting, no food, no water, that's I feel the parents should be arrested. It is bad. That's wickedness on a very high level.
Yeah, it is.
It is not advisable at all.
Yeah.
You know.
So quickly, according to the International Labour Organization, in Nigeria here we have about just over 40% of the children born here in Nigeria are being introduced into child labor.
Yeah.
So quickly, because of time, I want to just briefly look at what are the various causes of child labor here in Nigeria, and how can this child labor be curbed. What are those things that can be done to help? So we have immediate causes of child labor in Nigeria. Number one, we have poverty. Families in poverty, oftentimes they send their children out to work so as
to get money,
so as to have different sources with which income can come into the family.
By so doing that, these children are exposed to terrible things,
terrible situations out on the road or wherever they may be. They are exposed to different kinds of difficulties. Yeah, we also have lack of access to education. This still works hand in hand with poverty. Because when a child is at home 24 hours of the day without going to school, you as a parent,
But we have government schools, right?
Yes.
And they're supposed they are free, and these children can go to these schools.
Well, I really don't understand why most parents think that trade or early trade or early servitude is one of the ways with which their family can grow. We also have poor family planning there, because a lot of the low-level families, they just tend to bring in children into the world without to be honest with you,
you should go into the world and multiply. So that's what they are doing.
I don't think the Bible meant it in that light.
Way, yeah.
Yes,
but people tend to make
exaggerate the word
or understand it the way that it best suits them.
So yeah. So, poor family planning, people just, get married. Some of them don't even get married, and they just
tend to procreate.
Tend to just go into populating the population of the world.
Another thing is parental neglect.
Yes, negligence on the part of the parents.
Because most parents, they feel like, okay, I have these children and I don't have money. What do you want me to do? But it is your duty as a parent that brought a child into this world to give that child some form of care. Because some people right from day one, they just abandon the children. They don't care whether you go to school, whether you eat, anyhow, just go into the street and survive. So I may encourage you to go into bad kind of businesses or do things that are not proper. Some parents actually encourage their children into going into prostitution. Because when you see your child with something that you didn't give to that child. For instance, your child is in year 3 and he comes home with a book, a story book for instance, or a pencil, a pen that you didn't buy. But you just neglect, you don't ask, where did you get this thing from? Tomorrow that child will go in and bring a shirt or a dress that doesn't belong to, and you still keep quiet. Gradually like that, one day he will actually buy and come and give you. As a parent, and you collect it. But there are things that when you see your child doing, you don't just keep quiet. You talk, you ask questions like, who gave you this? How did you get these things? Be more, don't just neglect that child. Yeah, be more inquisitive. Talk to that child, ask questions. How, get to know. Because these children, oftentimes they go through things that they are not able to tell their parents, especially when it comes to rape. I realize that people that often molest children are people that are close to them. And they tell you things like, if you tell your mommy, I'll kill your mommy, or I'll kill your daddy. They say things to scare these children. But
they can even cajole the children, Maybe if it's an uncle, so to say, that has been buying this child sweets or food every lunchtime, I won't buy this for you again. So all these are really, really devastating.
Honestly.
And then let's move on to how can we reduce child labor in our society? We have if our government or our country can bring about a strong legal framework, strong legal agency that regulates and controls the rate at which children move on the streets carrying goods.
The ways to curb it.
Yes.
And then another thing, I think parents should be more responsible when it comes to their children.
Yes,
they should
more attentive.
Pay more attention to their children at a very young age, because even children who are 2-3 years, they are being molested. So let these children be free with you. They should be able to talk to you as a parent. Don't always hush them, because children naturally are inquisitive. When they become so inquisitive, don't hush them. Don't tell them to keep quiet, get out, go to. No. When you do that, they withdraw. But when you let them express themselves in a good way, they'll be able to tell you anything. No matter what it is.
We also have family planning, very important in our Nigerian societies. Family planning. Don't, because you can give birth to 10 children and you cannot cater for them, please don't. If one is okay, it's okay. No discrimination whether it is a boy or a girl, because some families, because they don't have a male child yet, the wife will keep giving birth to 10 female children, not considering. Yes, so we have so many various other means with which we can curb child labor here in Nigeria, but because of our time we'll be cutting it here.
All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll continue on our next segment on Monday next week. So thank you for joining us today on Breakfast Digest. We'll be going off now for the sport segment to come in. Please don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Facebook. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day ahead.
good morning once more. Welcome to Sports Review on ACTV. My name is Harrison. Here with me is Mr. Chris Onu, as usual. Good morning, Mr. Chris.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Fine, thank God.
How was the world of sports?
It has been fantastic over time.
Okay,
the week was superb.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin with results for the weekend in the world of sport. In the Women's World Cup, Korea Republic 0, Morocco 1, Switzerland 0, New Zealand 1, Norway 6, Philippines 0. Club friendlies that were played yesterday, Liverpool 4, Leicester City 0. We had Man City 1, Atletico Madrid 2. We had Manchester United 2, Borussia Dortmund 3. Just to topple up with few games that were played today in the Women's World Cup. Japan 4, Spain 0. Mr. Chris, let's kick it off with the Women's World Cup. Wonderful matches that were played.
Yeah.
We'll not dwell much on it though. We know Nigeria they are having their matches
Of
today.
course, yeah.
So, what are you looking forward to today's match?
As in, I'm a Nigerian. Of course, I look forward to victory. Substantial one. So, I just believe from the previous game that we played, of course, there were a lot of errors. The coach and the management have observed, and I believe by now they will have done some touches, some editing, some work on the ground that have been done by now. So I believe in this match that will be played with the Republic of Ireland today, 11. I believe there will be a lot of changes, and we will come out victorious today after the end of the match. I hope so.
Okay. The likes of Canada, we know they're actually battling for. To qualify also.
Yes, to qualify.
Canada, Australia.
Yes.
The matches, how do you
considering what Australia actually played with Nigeria in the previous game, in the second round, I believe they want to also improve their game, their style of game, and also win the game. Everyone actually wants to qualify, in this group stage. So I believe they will do well, and of course they will win. They will win Canada. Okay. Yes, I have that belief. Yeah.
That means we have a tough game.
Yes, it's really a fight for
survivor.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's for the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
We go into the big news because we know the league will soon be starting in a few weeks' time. 2 to 3 weeks, the league will kick off. Bayern Munich bosses are traveling to London to talk with Daniel Levy over the Hurricane signing.
Yes.
According to Sky Sports. A tough one. We know Daniel Levy, he doesn't really make it easy to get his players.
Exactly.
And with the price tag on Hurricane's head, over 100 million.
Yes.
Do you think that deal is possible?
Yes, it's possible because Bayern Munich actually, they are looking for a striker. Sadio Mane is gone. You understand? So I believe in this very moment they will try to see how they can make the deal. It's just 80 million and 100 million deal connection at the moment. So I believe they will come in principal terms, they will come into agreement, and of course they can be able to get the deal done because they really want a striker, and an available striker for them to get at the moment is Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a good striker. You know how he's good with. He has this experience in Premier League. Anyone who has experience in Premier League can be able to adapt in any league, like the Bundesliga league. Of course, he can be able to do it there. So I believe they are going to get a deal done, and in few days from now, Harry Kane is going to be the striker for Bayern Munich, considering the fact that Sadio Mane has gone to Al-Nassr. So of course there will be a replacement, and the best replacement for what's the quality of striker that Bayern Munich is actually looking for. That's where Harry Kane actually fits in.
Okay. From Harry Kane, we know that Sadio Mane will be undergoing
medically.
And
yes. Today,
this week. Let's put it because I think it was today they announced the date. Losing the likes of Sadio Mane, Harry Kane, potentially coming to Bayern Munich with their last season. Do you think losing the line, is it a big impact in the team?
In the team?
Yeah.
No, it's not really a big impact, because if you actually watch Sadio Mane last season very well, before the World Cup he actually went. He actually had an injury. The injury actually affected his game. He affected his game in the World Cup. He has affected his game in the club. You understand? So many things actually happened. Not just necessarily the injury that actually occurred within that period in last season. You know, at the point after the injury, his gameplay actually reduced to a point. So now you can be able to see from a distance that there's a vacuum space that is actually spacious, because no one is actually feeling it. Even when he is there, he was actually not making a very good or huge impact.
Do you think that was as a result of they had other interesting players that actually helped the team last season?
Yes,
likes of
Sane
was very, very influential.
Yes, this Cameroon guy.
Cameroon.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. Their top 9.
Yes, it's also good. That guys.
Also, we know the likes of Musiala.
Yes.
Who showed themselves.
Who showed themselves. They were able to show themselves last season. You understand? You know, in assumption of Sadio Mane. But
because that leads to my question. Do you think that he was introduced to the league for the first time? That was why his impact wasn't felt that much, or was it like the improvement of other players and kicking him out of the starting lineup despite his injury? You know, when he came back from injury, he actually tried, but the Sadio Mane we know of Liverpool,
yes, of Liverpool,
was not the Sadio Mane we saw last
after
season.
the injury.
Yeah,
yes, that's true. The thing is, you know, he had a fight with Sane.
Yeah,
you know, in the previous time. So that conflict, actually, you know, there's this thing that actually happens to players. You know, when they have problems, it affects their style of play. Sometimes, I believe this also forms part of why, because you could just Sadio Mane all of a sudden not giving, you know, this Sadio Mane that we used to know, you know, in the pitch, everything changed all of a sudden in a twinkle of an eye. You know, this is actually happened because of the things, the mental stress. You know, the problem you might have with somebody, just like the one he had with Sane, and also. If you watch the whole thing, it is just his first season. This is the first time he's playing in Bundesliga. So, in this league, you are coming in for the first time. Of course, you need to adapt. It's just like Anthony Dos Santos in Manchester United, whom if you watch his gameplay in this first season, I mean in the previous season that just passed, he didn't actually have a good time or a good play, and everybody they will have this speculation that this guy in Ajax actually is doing well, and he's not doing well as he came to England. Of course, he's supposed to be doing good, like the person they used to know is Ajax. Yeah. So now you cannot be able to judge people like this in just their first season. Same goes to Mane too. But the new coach came in. Tuchel actually came in. I don't know if he had any problem with him anyway, but I feel he doesn't enjoy the kind of play, because everyone has pattern.
Yeah.
Every coach has pattern, and possibly Mane might not fit into his pattern of play. Do you understand? So I feel this criteria, these reasons might be part of what actually is making fallout between Bayern Munich and Mane. And of course, they actually wanted him to go. It was clear that they want him to go, and of course, which he saw it and he was able to move away, because they actually didn't need him. You understand?
Okay. Well, you talk of the life of the likes of Anthony Dos Santos. We know Manchester United, they had the game yesterday,
yes.
Which didn't really pan out as planned. But we know it's preseason. So
yes,
we are not going to
dwell.
We won't dwell on it.
Yes, actually,
we won't dwell on it.
It's just a friendly match.
My question goes to not really a question per se. Højlund. We know Manchester United are going for Højlund. They've actually placed a bid for him.
Yeah.
70 million plus add-ons.
Add-ons, 80 something million.
Yes, we know. So this agreement that they've reached, you think Højlund is actually the right pick for that vacant position that Manchester United, they really need a top 9? We know that.
Yeah. Højlund is a very good, fantastic player.
My question
yes.
boils down to the money, the price tag. Do you think he will be able to live up to that price tag?
There are so many players that have such price tag and they didn't meet up. They didn't meet up with the price tag. You understand? But you and I know Odland in Atlanta. He's a very good, outstanding player. He plays really well. He's not a first line. You understand? He's a complete line because he's a good striker. We all know how he plays. We all know his contribution in Atlanta over the years.
And Denmark also.
Yes, you understand. So he's just 20 years old and he's playing this good and this wonderful. Of course, you should be able to expect. There are much more expectation from him, and of course, we'll be looking up to the price tag that we're using buying Odland. But this is Premier League. You're coming into Premier League. We cannot be able to just say this is what he's going to do because he hasn't played. This is the first time he's playing this league. So there's no experience. For now, we are going to just watch and see what, because he needs to adapt. He needs to get to know about how things are done in Premier League. You understand? So it's a different ballgame entirely when it comes to Premier League. But I just believe, I have this strong belief in me that he's going to live up to that expectation of that 81 million.
Okay.
Yes, yes, I have that belief. Yeah.
No problem. Talking on signings, we know Chelsea they've actually made a bid for Axel Disasi.
Yes,
a wonderful right back.
Yes,
a replacement for Reece James.
Yes,
because of his injury.
Yes, yes.
Most of the time.
He's actually prone to injury. So
yeah. So good signing here, or should I say a good player?
He's a good player, of course he is. You could see his contribution in the World Cup 2022. You could see what he did. You could see the way he played. He's a very good. In that position. He is good at what he does, and I believe he's going to fall in place. As a team, you need a squad depth. In as much as we have a right back as good as Reece James, you cannot have Reece James at all time in matches. So in place where we don't have Reece James, of course, that is going to come in, as a replacement for him, so that there shouldn't be somebody missing out in a particular position, and then they end up losing matches. So I believe he's going to fit into that position, and he's going to do it because he's a very good player.
Okay, more on the transfer. Lastly, let me bring this one. We know yesterday we got information about PSG, their interest in Ousmane Dembele.
Yes.
We know Barcelona, they've actually tried to improve on the quality of Dembele. We know he's a fantastic player, but he has not been able to show that spark which we knew him for.
Yes.
In Dortmund before he moved to Barcelona.
Yes.
Now we can see him actually stepping up, actually putting the team on his back.
Yes.
When they need him. All of a sudden, interest from PSG, and he's open to the transfer. What does that tell you of the state of the play in Barcelona?
Don't forget he says yes yesterday. Yesterday night he says yes.
Yeah.
He says yes to the personal term.
Meaning he's open.
He's open. He's open for transfer. And if you watch, as at this morning, Laporta and the president of PSG, they had clashes. Considering the fact that there should be a fair play, in transfer, in funding of players and all that. So they had this clash.
Yeah, on that I know we'll be dealing. I think on Friday we'll be dealing more on a topic on the impact of the Saudi League.
The Saudi League,
in general football. So
I want to go PSG to in Saudi because they are owned by the Qataris. So they also form part of it.
We'll talk more on that on Friday. But for now, so you can actually explain to us what do you think is actually happening, because all of a sudden we know Dembele. He has been with Barcelona. They've actually tried to help him because of his injury.
Yeah.
And so now for him to decide that he wants to leave the club, where we can see the likes of players coming in trying to improve the play of the club, and this transfer news, it's a bit confusing for us.
I don't want to call Barcelona fraud because they can always show players that they love them, and in the there's one thing about Barcelona, is the fact that they can always show you outside that this particular person is their god, but in house is a different ballgame entirely. You understand? So when Dembele comes out and say yes, I want to go to PSG, there are so many things under the carpet that a lot of people don't know about. Do you understand? So now the politics that is being played in Barcelona is huge. We could see it with Frankie de Jong. We could see it with Leo Messi. You understand? We could see it with Sergio Busquets. We could see it with Piqué. You get so they had same issues. Don't forget, these guys are being owned almost 5 to 6 months salaries because of the fact that there is no fund.
I think the financial. They have financial issues.
They have financial issue in the club. Though it might be a reason why Dembele will want to leave the club, because
he signed a contract last season.
Even if he signs a contract and there's a contract, a better one on ground, and he says yes to it, will you be held responsible for you saying yes to a club that actually wants to, who wants to pay better, who wants to pay well? No, this is business. Cristiano Ronaldo call it business. It is business. Do you understand? So, for him to go, is a new challenge for him. Is a new phase for him. Is a new journey. You don't stay in a club forever. You get. He might not be getting it well, as at the time he came to Barcelona at first, and now he is getting it right. And of course, definitely you're going to have people coming in, for him as a player, to get him. Of course, this things happens. It's normal. It's natural. You understand? So when he says yes, if it's a good deal, it is also is a plus for him, and it's also a plus for the club, because the clubs need funds. They need to buy more players in the club. To attract more players, you need funds. You get, so it's business. It's normal.
Well, whoever the final decision they take, I think it should be fruitful to football.
Yes, it should be fruitful to
football.
Yes,
in general.
yes, it should be fruitful to football.
Enough of the transfer. Yesterday Chelsea, they actually won the inaugural summer series. It was a wonderful one, based on their last season. We know the hiccup they had during the season, and for them to begin the season, not just begin the season, to actually kick it off the preseason with a cup. I think. Do you think that will help their season, will help their morale, will motivate them to actually do well?
In brief.
Sorry, we are out of time.
Of course. In brief, let me give this explanation in brief. Actually, they did they did bad in their last season, and it's really affected them mentally. The players, they had on the ground a misunderstanding between players and even the club and even the coach and all that before all coach left. But now having this cup yesterday might not be a very serious cup, but it's a motivation for them to go into the league with good enthusiasm, and to be able to perform well to the highest top, because these guys are back. For me as a person, I really want them to come forward. So that cup alone, it's a motivation for them to come to the season with good vibe.
That's a good one. Congratulate Chelsea.
Yeah.
Congratulate them for their victory and for winning the summer series. It was a nice one. Before we leave, let me put you on the spot. Nigeria,
Republic of Ireland.
Your final score?
2-1
to who?
2 to Nigeria.
So you are against Nigeria?
No, 2 for Nigeria, and then 1 for the Republic of Ireland.
Okay,
yes.
That is a wonderful one.
Yes.
We couldn't bring Mayowa because we know he actually put on green to support the likes of Nigeria.
Yeah, to support the likes of Nigeria.
I think we'll be having him tomorrow to handle the sports section for us. From us here in the sports section, thank you for staying with us. Support Nigeria. Do have a wonderful, wonderful day.